Hello syntax lover. In today's video, I will be talking about Java operators. Specifically, I will highlight regarding unary and binary and prefix and postfix. So this video is also going to be fully program oriented. Let me open the program in my MS Word file, and don't worry, click the link in the description. You will be redirected to this particular file. So first, let's talk about arithmetical operators. So these operators are used to perform the basic mathematical computations. So over here I have provided the code snippet. So let me copy this code from here, and then let me come to BlueJ. Let me create one demo class. So let me write the class name as demo. Nothing to worry, because we will paste the code and then we will automatically the name will be assigned to the class. So see, I created the name as arithmetical, so automatically the name arithmetical came over here. So here is few lines of code that deals with the basic arithmetic operation. I will explain them one by one. So let me compile it. Yes, it is syntactically correct. So what I am doing over here, I have already shown you how to take input from the user. So click the I button, that will take you to the video which will show you how to take input through the help of string args. Make sure you watch that video first, and then you will be able to understand this execution. So here what I have done, I have taken the input from the user. See, without taking the input from the user, the program becomes very monotonous. So that's the reason I love taking input from the user. And then I will be performing the basic mathematical operations. So I will be taking couple of inputs. So let me first run the program. So as I right click over here, you get the main function, and I click the main function over here, that opens the following dialog box. And in this dialog box, I'm supposed to take the input. So let me keep the program aside also. Yes, how will I take the input? So over here you will find there will be always second bracket provided, so you should take the input within the second bracket. So second bracket open, quotation start, let me take the first input as 5, quotation close, comma, and let me take the second input within the quotation, double quotation. Okay, keep it in mind, it should be double quotation, 2, quotation close, and make sure to close your second bracket. So this is how you should take the input, and then you will be pressing the OK button. As you do that, you will be getting the output. So let me put the code over here. Remember, it is an array of type string, so that's the reason you have to take the input within double quote. And since you are providing multiple values, so there should be second bracket. So in between the second bracket you have to provide the input. So that's the reason you check the video where you will find how I have taken the input, and then you come back to this video. It will be much clear for you. Okay, so two inputs I have taken. So I stored those two input in the respective variable a and b. So how will I be storing it? With the help of integer.parseInt. What this particular statement is basically doing, it is converting my string to integer so that I can perform the mathematical computation. So that is what it is converting. So my first input got stored in the 0th location. So from there it picked up the value, so it got the value, and then it went for conversion, and after converting the value, it has inserted inside the variable a. So the first value which I have given was 5. Okay, so here I have given the first value as 5, and the second value which I gave was 2. So that's how I have given two inputs. You are free to choose whatever input you feel like, and then we are performing the basic mathematical operation. So how do we do that? So for that reason, if you notice this particular statement, you will find something very interesting. I am not using any other variable. Well, I could have written something like this: c equals to a plus b. I could have done that. That also fine, no issue. Make sure you declare the variable. There will be no problem with that. But I wanted to show you the culmination of both the operator together. See over here, at this particular statement, in the print statement, I have written one string, one sentence that is going to be displayed. See, the sum is, this line is coming over here, and then I have gone for the concatenation operator because I am going to club up my statement along with the value from the variable. So I have used the plus, and then at this line I have wrapped it within the parenthesis, within the first bracket. Why? Make sure you should perform the computation or calculation within the first bracket if you are doing it in the print statement. So this is my print statement. In the print statement, if you have to go for calculation, then you should have to put it within the bracket. Now you might be wondering, what if I don't put it? What's wrong in that? Okay, then very well, you see it by yourself. I'm removing the parenthesis and I'm keeping it like this. Okay, syntactically the program is no error. There is no bug in the syntax. It's syntactically very correct. But am I supposed to get the desired output? Let's go and check it out. I'm still providing the same input. So first, second bracket start, double quotation start, the value is 5, double quote close, put a comma so that you can give the second input, again double quotation start, 2, double quote close, and the bracket close. Okay, and let me click the OK button, and now see what happened. You might be wondering, how come I got the value 52? Actually, it is not 52. Rather, it is 5 and 2 sitting side by side. That looks very much like 52. Since you have given the plus operator, that is mean the concatenation operator over here, so this plus, the isolated plus, if it is not wrapped within the parenthesis, it will be behaving like a concatenation operator. So that's the reason you are getting the value of A as 5, the 5 got printed, and then you have got the value of B as 2, that got printed. And since you didn't give any space in between, so there seems like 52. If you wish to give a space over here, so that also you can do it. You can write over here single quote open, you can double quote open, and then you can give a space, as many space you feel like, then double quote close, and then you put a plus over here. Now what happens? So in between you will be getting a space. So let me compile it. Yes, syntactically there is no error. So let me run over here. Let me give the same value. So double quotation open, 5, double quote close, comma, double quote open, 2, double quote close. And now if I click the OK button, now you see what the thing is. This is what I was trying to say. So initially when you saw 52, they were not 52 actually, it was 5 and 2 sitting side by side. Now you can see that relevant of having the parenthesis. So the statement, wherever I have wrapped my arithmetical operator within parenthesis, I am getting the resultant output. So 5 minus 2 is giving us 3, 5 into 2 giving us 10, 5 into 5 divided by 2, so you are getting the value as remainder, this is the quotient which you are getting as 2, and finally you are getting the remainder as 1. By the way, this is in general day-to-day life we call it as a percentage, but over here we call it as modulus. Okay, so remember this particular thing, this remainder is going to be called as modulus. So this is a separate operator that Java has provided us, which is going to give us the remainder. So you can call it also as modulus. So over here, when you are writing this statement, be very careful, and this particular operator will be very important when you go for a programs like to find out the prime number, to find out the even number. So those operations will be in order to segregate, in order to divide the individual digits in the given input. You will be needing this particular modulus operator very much. So this particular operator will be very handy. So you saw how your arithmetical operator is required, and if you notice one thing, these operators which you are using, the arithmetical operators which you are using, they are all in between two operands. So over here there is one operand, over here there is another operand. So in between these two operands you are using these operators. So when you are using these mathematical operators in between two operands, that's the reason at times they are also known as binary operator. Okay, because a binary means 2. Since these operators are wrapped within two operand, over here there is one, on the left hand side there is one operand, on the right hand side there is another operand, they are also known as binary operator. In my notes which I have provided, if you scroll down over here, just slightly below, you will find that binary operator is also there. So since I'm covering this part, let me just go through this point. What I have said is, this operator, the operators that operates on two operand are said to be binary operator. They can also be written as short form and known as shorthand operation. They can also be called by shorthand. So how do you, what is the meaning of that? So let me just copy this particular segment. and let me come back to the same. Let me close the output. I hope the previous program was clear. So let me just copy this and paste it over here. So you can easily copy and paste from the file which I will be providing it, so that it will be able to save time. See, my objective is at a very minimal effort you have to get the good score. Okay, you don't have to spend your time simply just typing it. You just need to focus on the logic of the program. You have to be very careful about the syntax of the program. So rather copying and typing it, better you should invest more time on the code segment. That is more important. So over here I have written the shorthand as the name of the class. You are free to choose whatever class name. So again I'm taking couple of inputs over here, A and B, through the help of string.js, and then again I'm going for typecasting because it's a string type, so it has to be converted to integer type. And now see how I'm going to perform this operation. So it is very much similar to something like this: a equal to a plus b. You don't have to write the statement in this way, but the fashion of shorthand is you put the operator before the equal to. Oh, well, by the way, this is not called an equal to, this is called assignment operator. Let me clear that also. It's in our general day-to-day life we call it an equal to, but in case of programming paradigm we call this as assignment operator. So in the world of programming paradigm we call this as an assignment operator. So over here what we are doing basically is we have two operators together, okay, but they are two different operators. So this is the arithmetic operator and this is the assignment operator. So you're putting both the operator together. So what we are doing over here, we are assigning two operators. So one is the arithmetic operator, arithmetic operator who is over here, plus we also have got assignment operator. So we are putting both the operators together. So keep this thing in mind when you're writing the shorthand notation or shorthand operator. It has to be a culmination of some arithmetic operator. Some means it can be plus, it can be minus, it can be divide, it can be modulus. So any operators you can put it, no problem with that. See over here I'm putting now a minus over here, no issue with that. So any form of arithmetic operator you can put, followed by an assignment operator has to be there. So that is how the shorthand notation goes. So let me save the file. Keep it in mind I have given minus over here, so that means it will be a minus b. And after doing that, so suppose if I give the value as 5 in regard to b, a, and value of 2 in regard to b, so 5 minus 2, ultimately the value 3 is going to be saved back again in the variable a, and that's the reason why I have printed over here. So this is the result which you are going to get after you have gone for decrement. So let me now run my program over here, and let's see how the thing goes. So here is my object instance, and here is my curly bracket. So I put the value 5 within quotes, then comma, again within quotes I put the value 2, and now I go for the value OK, and that's how you get the decrement. So it's going to be 5 minus 2, the resultant is going to be 3, and that's what you are getting over here. So this is how your shorthand operator is going to work. Keep it in mind, there should be some form of arithmetic operator along with that the assignment operator together. Okay, that's how it's going to work. So now let's get back to our node once again. So we completed our arithmetic operator, and now let's come to the unary operator, because we already saw that there are two operand in between the operator. What if I have got one single operator? Well, that's what the unary operator is. You only want to work on one operand to perform any operation like negation, increment, and decrement. So these three action in negation, increment, decrement I will be subsequently explaining throughout this particular node. Okay, so let's start with the negation first. So let me copy this segment of code snippet, and let me come over here, let me paste it right over here. See how easy the thing can be. Okay, so here I have given a class name. Well, you're free to choose whatever class name you feel like. So what I'm doing over here, I am going to make use of unary. So let me remove the binary segment of name. So let's go for unary. So here I'm going to take only one value from the user. I'm storing the variable a, and then just see I'm doing the negation. So unary operator require only one operand. So I have got only one operand. So let me consider that I'm giving a positive value, and that positive value will be negated, and I will be getting the negative value of that. So let me compile the program. Yes, the program was successful. So let's go and provide the input. So since I'm going for one operand, so I'm supposed to give only one input. So let me give the input as 5 wrapped within quotation. Don't forget to give the code because that's the most important thing, and here comes my input. So when I've given the value, positive value 5, that got negated, and the negated value gets stored in the variable a, and eventually you are going to get the negated value over here. So in case of unary operator, there will be only one operand. Okay, remember this. Well, by default, if you don't write any operator over there, so it will be positive in that case. But if you specifically wish to make it negation or decrement, then you have to go for minus over here. So a single operand will be treated as unary, and multiple operand and the operator in between will be treated as binary. So that's what the segment goes. Okay, so we completed the unary. Now let's come to the I already said that the unary operator can be provided in two other form, that is called increment and decrement. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's come to the increment and decrement operator. So this particular section can be divided further. So the first one I have gone for prefix, and the second one I have gone for postfix. So in case of prefix, what I am saying, so the operator written before the operand. Very important line, the operator written before the operand. See over here, if you see the operator written before the operand. Okay, let's do one thing. Let me copy the code snippet and let me run the code, and eventually the thing will be very clear. Okay, here it is. Let me compile it. I have given the class name as prefix underscore increment because I will be incrementing the value. So as I said, what the operator will be before the operand. So in case of prefix or in case of postfix, in both cases you will find that the same operator is used multiple times. So I have gone for increment, so I'm using the plus plus. It could have been decrement, so then in that case you have gone for minus minus. So what I'm doing over here also I'm taking the input from the user. That input will be stored in the variable a after your conversion from string to integer, and then I will show you what the input I have given, and then it will perform the prefix operation. So what is the meaning of this plus plus a? Well, basically this plus plus a means a equal to a plus 1, that is the representation. But you can put this plus plus before the variable or after the variable, or I mean to say before the operand or after the operand. So there is a slight difference. So if you are putting it at the beginning of the operand, it means something, and if you are putting it after the operand, it means something, and that's what we are going to differentiate. So let me run the program first. Let me compile it. Yes, it went good. And let me right click over here. Let me come up with the same old value of putting double quote 5 double quote close, and I press the OK button, and here comes the output. So let me keep the program side by side. So initially I gave the input as 5, and that's what you got to see over here. That was my initial value, or I can say before the prefix operation actually took place, what is the value I have given? That was 5. Now when you are performing the prefix operation, that what in between I'm performing the prefix operation, so in between I want to see the output. Now you might be thinking that why I'm saying in between, what is the relevant of that? Don't worry, as you go to the postfix, the meaning of this in between will be very clear. Okay, so while this prefix operation is taking place, I am printing the value. As I already said, the value of a is 5 plus 1 will make it 6, and that 6 is going to be printed over here. So naturally you will get the output as 6. And again, as you have assigned the value 6 to the variable a, so when you come to this line, you will be getting the 6 as usual. So over here in the statement where you are performing your prefix operation, and after performing the prefix operation, I repeat, the statement where you are performing the prefix operation and after you have completed that, in either of cases you are going to get the same output, 6 and 6. So there is no specific difference. Okay, but the difference will come when we switch to the postfix. Okay, so let me get to my postfix segment, and then I will read out the meaning of these lines which I have written. So better I will copy this line. I mean to say the code snippet, I will copy it. Yes, don't worry, you will get the link in the description below. So from there you just copy the file and you just copy the code snippet like what I am doing. Let me compile it. Okay, see over here the operator after the operand. Okay, so now let me come up with the same input which I have given, quotation start 5 quotation close, and since I'm going for single input, so I've given the single out. You're getting the output now. Oh my god, what is the output and how is the output coming? See, before the postfix operation means whatever input I have given, that is the 5, That is fine, very good. Now I'm saying again, just like prefix, I'm saying in between. So in between your, while your postfix operation is going on, see here, it's, it means something like this only, a equal to a plus 1. So let me just increase this width of this. Yes, so there is nothing much difference in the statement a equal to a plus 1, but there is a difference in output. When you are executing your postfix, in between you are not seeing the new value 6, you are seeing the old value 5. Even though the operation is going on, the action is going on, it is still retaining the old value. Until you come to the next statement, the new value is not reflected. Again I am saying, or better I read out the line which is there in my note. I am saying that the operators are written after the operand. Yes, that is fantastic. It is written after the operand. That is true. But then what I am saying? I am saying that, let me put it over here, the value of the operand is incremented, but the previous value is retained temporarily. So when it is coming to this particular line, the incrementation is taking place, but still it is retaining the old input which I have given. So over here I give the input as 5, so that 5 is still retained right over here also. Over here also I'm still retaining 5, even though it has been incremented to 6. So if you print this particular statement at this juncture, you are going to get the output which you are seeing over here is 5, because it's still retaining the value 5. When this new value is coming, only when, so the previous value is retained temporarily in the same statement, remember, in the same statement, and it is getting updated after the execution of the next statement. So when the control is coming to the next statement, then you are going to see the updated value. So right over here the updated value is getting flash. So this is a very thin line of difference, that in case of postfix the value is retained, and in case of prefix it is executed then and there. Okay, I know this video has been a bit long, but I tried to make you understand the concept of unary and binary, the concept of prefix and postfix, because these things are very important in your upcoming programs. Well, if you found this particular video helpful, don't forget to click the like button. Definitely go for subscribe. Share this video among your friends so that we can increase number of lovers in regard to Java. Okay, so let's meet in my next video. Thank you so much.